Hello, YouTube sports card friends. The correction continues. Yeah, I'm not even going to do the little I told you so dance or jingle or anything like that. I mean, if you've been watching other YouTube channels or listening to other content providers, it's interesting how they've all kind of spun it. Oh, the market's soft, or now's still a good buying time. But again, after a amount of time, I think people start to realize, first of all, there's less and less people listening. I think all numbers continue to go down. I'm going to share with you some graphs and some stuff in a moment. But again, I think it's interesting to hear this. And, you know, I don't want to be the naysayer. I think part of the reason I stopped doing the daily content, I felt like I didn't have anything positive to say on a daily basis anymore because there's so much negativity and really what's happening in the hobby. I will, and I did mention, I'm going to be going back to what I enjoy the most, and that's breaking cards. And I'm not taking it as a breaker. I mean, getting into breaks. I like that. And I'm not doing it as an investment. I'm doing it for fun because I enjoy it. But I'll talk about that and show you that and how I'm going to navigate through what I consider very, very interesting time period in sports cards. But I do love the hobby. So let me just point out, I'm going to say it again. It is right now, November 2021. Can we now agree that 2020 was what's referred to as an anomaly? Like a Halley's Comet, once 86 years type of a thing that's not going to happen again for another 86 to 100 years, if at all. And I'll explain that why in a little bit. And here's the most important part. What happened in 2020 will have huge earthquake-like impacts on the hobby for years. Like if it wasn't for 2020, we would not be looking at Fanatics coming into the market, in my opinion. There's absolutely no way Fanatics gets in this market if 2020 didn't happen. And here's part of the reason why I think it's funny. And if you just pay attention to this is why Fanatics will fail within 5 years after they get complete control of the hobby, because they made projections on growth based on 2020. Right. And again, I've seen this happen before. Like if I ever were to teach a business 101 class, I'm going to remind people, look, when you have a great deal, a great quarter, a great month, remember it could be an anomaly. You might have to discount it or, average it out. Think about that before you go betting the future on it. We'll talk about some of those impacts in a moment. But here's my current thoughts on where we are. And it's frustrating because I like sports and I like the hobby now. So a lot of sports have just been mixed right now. Basketball is getting just brutalized. And again, I really tell you, I don't think there's like Curry's always been a favorite of mine. I love Curry. I think he's like the only positive player right now in that people are looking at. And maybe I'm being a little too harsh. There's definitely some other good leaders, but there's also so much negativity, I think, right now in basketball. Overprinting and mismanagement are two dominating concerns. I think if you're looking at the sports cards, there's too much uncertainty in both of those. And if you don't think they're overprinting, please wake up. Not only overprinting, they're just over manufacturing products. And I'll show you that in a moment. Topps is a complete mess. I don't know what to say. I like a lot of the Topps brands and IP, but I really hope that Topps goes bankrupt or their assets get sold really quickly because they're just continuing to mess up, in my opinion. They continue to make things worse. Panini is stronger than you expect. I think people are like, oh, Panini should be bought. They're gonna die. They're losing the most licenses. Yeah, but they've also got a global market. They've got a lot of creativity. They've done a very good job in branching out. They've got some pretty strong footholds. Topps is again always seems to be behind the ball. Just doesn't seem to be there. Because again, they're playing checkers. Everybody else is playing chess. I do think, and I've heard people talk about this, the Fanatics could enter the market faster than expected. They might not wait for a few years. They could be in it by next year. They can make an announcement today. They're just buying the assets because, and here's why, right? I think they're now looking at 2021 saying, hey, that's not 2020. And they're looking at 2022 expectations in the market. And that's uncertain. And they're thinking if they don't get in here quickly and put some bandages and patch things up and bring some certainty to the market space and do whatever they can creatively wise, that it could be a mess by the time they inherit it. I think they're very aware of that, right? Because again, collector confidence is thinking, hey guys, they're just going to overprint. That's my thought with Topps. Like I won't touch retail products right now. They're fun if you can find them at retail prices, but even that, I don't know if I want to pay retail prices for. But I definitely would not buy them in aftermarket. I think you're going to continue to see that flood. Projections, again, these projections were based on 2020 revenue and even 2019 revenue, which is still strong going into the pandemic. Sports cards are not financial investments. I hope this is something that people have learned right now. And let me just quickly say, investment is a lot of different things. I invest a lot of time in my dog, Sandy. She's a wonderful investment for me. Would I ever sell her? No. Will I make money from her? No, but there's an investment there. Okay, so investment's a very generic term. Financial investment, that's not what sports cards are. And the number one reason for this, and I said this very early on when everybody was going in and buying, was liquidity. People don't understand liquidity, right? And how hard it is to go liquid on certain cards. And it's funny too, if you follow certain card creators, they're going to manufacture, oh, that, big number cards are holding their value more. Are they? I think big value cards, when they sell, you don't talk about, okay, dude, I bought a card for 10,000, I sold it for 7. You're not bragging about that. It's normally a backdoor deal. You're doing with somebody, you don't want anybody to know about it. You're selling to a collector, whatever. Maybe you gifted somebody, whatever it is, but you don't really brag on those big losses like people do on those big gains. So, and there's not as much liquidity in those big value cards. Don't tell me there is. Just there isn't, right? So liquidity is a major challenge that I think one reason why sports cards are not investment. And I'll even say like this: if you have 10 Lucas Silver Prisms and you go to the card show to sell them, either as a seller, buy, whatever you want to do it, however way you can do it, are you going to sell all 10 of those for the same price? Not unless you discount them a lot and you sold them all for 20% off at the same price. You're not going to get the premium top value on all of them, is my point, right? So it's not like a stock where you get the last, and you sell 10 shares of your stock for the top price. No. Okay. Sports cards are never like that. When you buy in bulk, you pay a discount. Over time, you're gonna lose money. There's fees. There's all sorts of things that erode the value of a sports card. And we've always said too, what's the value of a sports card? It's what people are willing to pay. And we need to go back to that, guys. So I'll say this: if you're out there and you're listening to me and you're a collector, here's what I tell you: stop buying at comps. Because if somebody's selling you at comps, is basically somebody selling you because they think the value is a market determined. No, it's not. You determine it. You, the collector, determine. Make him an offer. Lowball him, right? First of all, he might take it. Second of all, that is how we set value. Value is set by the people, man. Remember, the hobby is the people. Well, again, don't look at comps. Comps are BS. Comps are what flippers use. Tell everybody, hey, it's worth this much. Well, good. Go sell it for that much. Let me see you sell for that much. Run back to me when you can show me that much in cash, because most time they're not going to be able to do that. Last sale doesn't mean that there's 10 people lined up willing to pay that much. It means the last person was willing to pay that much. And boy, this is becoming crystal clear in the market space when it comes to sports cards. I don't think people realize that, right? So liquidity is challenged. Let me just say this: anybody who still uses the term market cap or sports card, you need to just bop them on the head and go, stop. Just stop, dude. Stop. Shh. Shh. Bop. That's just like, it's one of the most ignorant things you can say. It really is. Market cap sports cards does not exist. If you disagree with me, come on, speak to me live. I'm happy to debate it with you. It's fallacy. Oh, how are those scoring and prediction data platforms doing? The ones that predict the value of a card in the future, or they can calculate the score because a big one sold, so it should pull up all the other ones of the player. That's even if it's a cheap 7th year silver prism, it should go up to. How are those platforms doing? I'm wearing my sports card investor t-shirt right now. Can you guys see that? Is that funny or what? Is that ironic? Because I still say it is the best damn data platform on the market. I'm going to show you that. If you hang out to the end, I'm going to show you it can't lie to you about what the numbers are saying. Other data platforms, well, we'll leave it at that. Okay. I want to make this last comment before I show you some screenshots here of what's going on. Okay. When people say a play in sports cards, like, here's a play, go buy this card because the documentary is coming out, or go buy this card because this player is playing really well. Think about what they're saying. Okay. This isn't an investment world where you're like looking at a company and go, hey, Hasbro's come out with a brand new toy, their revenue is going to go up. There's a brand new movie coming out. That's not the same. They're basically saying, based on hype, this card will likely increase in value, so you can sell it because it's going to likely go back down in value after the hype period is over, after that news is over. So take advantage of that opportunity. Now, just think about that. That's what a play is in sports cards for the most part. Not all the time, but for the most part. What I would consider a play, what I used to consider a play, is I'd be like, hey guys, did you know that first of the line's dropping at 11 o'clock today? Because you're telling people information that the more people know, the more competition there is to get that, which might drive the value of the product up. But it's not really a play in the sense I'm like trying to hope somebody buys it and gets screwed with it. You see what I'm saying? Information to me is more of a play than telling you which card or documentary. It's a very fine line, but just be aware of that when people are giving you sports card advice, a lot of times they're telling you advice, so they want you to get caught with it. And the reason they say that, because here's my last point before I'm going to show you some cool graphs and stuff. Hope you're hanging out there with me. Cards are to collectors as hot girls are to husbands. Write that one down. Cards are to a collector as a hot girl is to a husband. They settle down. Okay. And this is so important. Okay. What I mean by this is every year there's a new rookie class, new hot rookie, whatever comes out, everybody wants 10 of them. But by the time the dust settles, 3, 4, 5 years out, only one of those rookies from that class is really the hot girl. And she's settled down. She's found all the collectors that are going to collect her. There's no longer a market of these flippers who are buying and selling on performance, right? They've already agreed, hey, she's cute, I like her, she's my favorite team, she won a Super Bowl, whatever it is. But that's determined. The collectors have set that. And I go back to now, collectors, guys, stop buying at comp, start buying at what you want to buy at. And this market's going to really correct itself a lot faster. Because again, as I told you before, sports cards are not investments. Let's go ahead and look at some numbers here. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I'm going to start here with StarStock, which I absolutely love. StarStock. It is one of my favorite selling platforms. I'm a big fan of seller StarStock for so many reasons. I'm not going to go into it today. I like the fact you can buy in breaks here. I have not bought breaks here. I actually did one break here, but you can have cards graded directly from them. They give you a grade on. There's good and bad. Blah 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 blah. Okay, let me pull you down here to the emerging NFL emerging 30. Let's take a look at this index. It is the 23rd right now, Tuesday. I'm surprised this has not been updated, but the holiday they might update it. And also with the market continuing dip, they might not feel updated. But look, let me just point this out. This was created back in May at $1,000, at $1,000 point, whatever you want to call it. It only broke that once. And ever since then, it's been down. Okay. So the entire time, like I called the correction back in the spring, the market's just been correcting on a downward slope, right? This is just evidence of that. Okay. And you can't hide the numbers. Now, again, there's some good information here about certain players doing better than others, but in general, this stuff continues to dip. We're dipping hard. Okay, that's football. We're gonna go over here to baseball. Baseball, surprisingly, has a little up time. Where's my baseball? But still, overall, look at this, guys. StarStock created a little over a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago. They started their index fund back in March, back when spring training was coming at around 1,000. Only broke that a few times before just cliffing off and just been on a constant down. We're down over 50%, almost 50%, 42% for the year. Okay, and this baseball rookies, relevant players, right? This is going to continue, right? We've been going through it. In fact, here's the funny thing. A lot of people are talking about, well, it's the holidays, people are going to have less money, it's inflation. They're making every excuse they can for where sports card market's down. Let me tell you a little dirty secret. Sports cards typically died in January, February, March. They're even worse there that time because sports, for the most part, are just not, there's nothing churning. I know they have like NFL. Yeah, but by then you know who's going to be at the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? It's not a good time for sports cards, January, February, March. Look at this one. This one might be the most amazing. This is the NBA one. It's the longest one. They had this over a year ago. This thing skyrocketed. And I remember this. I'll even say last December, January, cards on StarStock were selling like crazy, right? Because you were getting StarStock A's. They could be PSA, and PSA was still open, right? But you could submit to these guys. We're at 2,500 at the peak in January of this year. I feel like I'm skiing. Dude, we are at all-time lows at 600 right now. Now, I know there's other indexes out there. You guys take a look at those. Here's some other things to take a look at. Let's look at Panini's website. Let me explain something to you. This product right here, Flux, used to be part of Chronicles. Why it's its own standalone product is ridiculous. Let me go ahead and turn off my camera. How do I stop my camera here? Stop my video. Mosaic Basketball, again, this is the second-year product, but it could be multi-year if you consider it was a spin-off of Prism, but it's a second-year standalone product. You got so many different optic flavors. This is a Chronicles. We got Panini Chronicles. I wonder what's in there because, again, Flux used to be in there. National Treasures College, I wouldn't touch that, but I will point out a few of these are still available. Like this would normally sell out. In 2020, this would be sold out immediately. Even in 2018 and 2019, a solid product like Optic would be sold out on the website, but it's not right now. Which is kind of a shock right now, in my opinion. I'm a little surprised by that. I mean, because again, it's Optic. Let's look at some other ones here. Let's look at football. I don't think there's anything coming out in football right now. Yeah, you got Spectra and you got X-Star, which again, I'm not a fan of either one of those. Soccer, Chronicles sold out. You got a Donruss product coming. Interesting. UFC, what do we got here? I'll even say in my new world, what I've been enjoying, right, in the blockchain world, even the blockchain world has slowed down. Like here's an insert pack. These are $15. These have always sold out in minutes, or at least in the same day it was released. This has been out for over, it was released yesterday. It's almost coming up on 24 hours and it's still available. That's actually really surprising. Really surprising. And really, I don't know. I think it's a yellow flag, man, for the Panini NFT space as well. So what else did I want to share with you guys? Oh, here we go. Let's take a look at market movers. So market movers, here's some cards I've just been following because of basketball for a while, but I want to point out, first of all, still a lot of red, some early green in the last 7 days, but in the 30-day average, it's still way down. So these could be little blips like LaMelo. Okay, he's at 450, but when we were talking back in this earlier, he was like 800. Okay, look at this. Giannis is back to 1500. I haven't been following him on a regular, but I called him at 1000, which he hit, and then he took off to about 2000. He's again gets at 15. He's, in my opinion, he's never going up to the $6,000 or $7,000. I think at 2000, if you have him in the green and hits 2000, I would sell that in a heartbeat. My kids are still kicking me for not letting them sell Luka when it was at 2000. Okay, we'll take a look at Luka in a moment. Ben Simmons, he's been up a little bit, which is surprising, right? He's actually been up a lot over time because he's also down a lot. And I will say too, real quickly, Ben Simmons has no autographs from Prism that year. All his autographs are not in Prism. So his base cards and rookie cards do have a little more, I guess, value. Here's Patrick Mahomes, right? Kind of flat. He's been down a lot since a 90-day. Right, look at that, 364 for the optic raw base and 600 for the silver prism. Here are these cards are all minted to a pop count of over 10,000. You got Tatis, Gavin Lux, which is actually up. Look at that, 22% at 15. It still costs, the grading fee is more than he's worth that. Ja, who's been playing really well, still down overall. Soto down. All these guys, and this is my point is I'm using market movers. Market movers can't hide shit to you and say, oh, but we predict Soto will be worth a lot more in the future. They're just showing you actual sales numbers, 7, 30, 90 days, which I like. They give you, they can't hide it. LeBron James, this card, which never should have been graded, over 12,000 of them. Luka, here's Luka. Look, it's a 570. My kids, we had this card. They each had one of them at 2000. One of my sons sold at 800. The other two still have theirs. And well, it's a bitter point. There was a couple other guys who were just added to this list. Kuna, I missed the list. Oh, well. And this right here is just general players that I'm following and that they're down. And Kobe White's up a little bit. Only one, well, I was say, I thought Curry's up. He's up a little bit on the longer term, but not really in general. I mean, this is still 90 days worth of data, right? Still very down, still a very down market in sports cards. So I don't think you can hide it. I will also take a look real quickly. When we look at products, look at the products, man. They are just pumping products out like Chronicles, Contenders, Out to Basketball, Mosaic, One-on-One Basketball, Flux Basketball, Immaculate Basketball. And I want to point out, I believe these are all still LaMelo rookie year. Yeah, this is all LaMelo rookie year until January. So the first next college year Prism products aren't coming out till the end of January. And there's gonna be a bunch of college ones. So like Prism, and here's an interesting thing. So Prism and a lot of stuff are already available in NFTs, but they're not going to be out in product until the spring. That's going to be interesting to see how they do in the spring. I don't think they're going to do very well. But look at that. You got all these other products still coming out with. These are all Lonzo Ball rookie year. Lonzo Ball. Is that crazy? Is that for real? I guess it is. And is this baseball up here? Look at baseball. Got a lot of baseball coming out. You see what I'm saying? Look at all these products. There's just so many products. This is the off season and they're pumping a product out every freaking week. Panini's got a bunch of baseball products, Contenders, Elite Extra Edition. It's just crazy. Okay, now let's go down to football. XR, Spectra, Leaf, Wild Card, Impeccable, Leaf, Illusions, Mosaic, Immaculate. When is Prism coming? I don't even see it on the list. Do you? I don't. Panini NFL trading cards, Onyx, Mosaic, Super Break, Phoenix, Obsidian, Limited. Wow, I don't see Prism on this list, man. Prism's normally out in the fall, so they're that far behind. This again goes back to what I said. Okay, the supply chain's out of whack. These guys are going to print as much as they can. They're behind on products as it is. Upper Deck might be one of the interesting companies to keep an eye on if you're a true hobbyist, because they're not going to be impacted by fanatics. They're not going to be overprinting. They've already said they've reduced some of the stuff. they make some really good quality products. I don't know enough about hockey. Like, I wouldn't say go chase everything. I think there's certain products you go after, but I will say this is a product that I might look at. Like, maybe it'd be fun to go after the cup, and a break the cup. And you'll see a lot of other things are coming. Lots of like Star Wars this year, National Treasures Racing. Anyway, my video is going a lot longer than I normally like to go. I will say another thing I'll share with you guys real quickly. This is my Dibs account. My Dibs account's been getting brutally beaten down. I mean, it's $86, and that's over. I had a couple $100 in there. And I only bring this up because I think even the fractionals are getting fractionalized, right? So the correction continues. Guys, love to get your comments. If you're going to leave a negative thumb, please leave a comment. I don't block people. I love to hear your comments. Even if it's, hey, Ziggy, you're a complete idiot. That's fine, man. Feedback's positive. You know why? Because conversation is a better way to resolve a conflict than alternatives that are out there. So I do welcome your conversations. Thank you, guys. We made this long. Let's see. Do I want to play that video? So I will say, let me just go ahead. Am I still sharing? Yeah, I am. I don't know if you guys are going to hear this, but I like this video. This is why I think about in the hobby. Okay, so there's 3 types of people: sheep, wolves, and sheepdog. Some people think evil doesn't exist in the world and wouldn't know what to do if it's landed on their doorstep. Those are the sheep. Listen to this. You've got predators. Then you've got predators who use violence to prey on the weak. Those are the wolves. There are those with the gift of aggression who have the need to protect the flock. That's so interestingly said. Those are a rare breed that live to confront the wolf. Those are the sheepdog. Okay, just keep on listening. We are not raising any sheep in this family. The father takes his belt out on the table, and I'll whoop your ass if you turn into a wolf. Someone tries to fight you. We protect our own. And I think I'm just going to close on this. I do think this is a cool thing about the hobby and why I got into it in the beginning. In the hobby, what I remember was people who would step up and message me if something was fishy or shady and say, Ziggy, watch out for this. The people would call me, hey, man, I understand your kids like this. I got a box at a discounted price. Do you want to go on a break with me? People who shared, who worked together and took care of each other. And I feel like now there's just so many wolves. And I just encourage us sheepdogs to protect the herd, right? Protect the flock, stick together. It's going to be a bumpy ride. I'm not saying that I'm leaving, but I'm just telling you what's going on, guys. I hope you, like I said, hope you guys appreciate this. Like, comment, all that other stuff. Bye-bye. I'm out.